This display here on the left and the display on the right can actually be changed, and we do all this by pressing these navigation buttons. So if I press the left navigation button and the right navigation button here, you'll see that I'm moving this menu at the top. Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video we're going to look at Scania's latest offering in 2025. Let's get to it. Okay guys, so I'm going to start by giving you a quick tour on the outside of the truck. So I'm just going to quickly flip the camera away from me. The truck we're looking at today is the SCANIA G420. That's your model number. And on the outside, it's quite a nice looking cab. Can't really fault its aesthetics, looks really good, just like Scania's always have done. Hasn't really ventured too far away from what you'd expect to see, but it's definitely worth mentioning. This curvature here and this quite narrow band here means you do get some really good visibility on the inside of the truck. This particular truck does have cameras on the side, on both sides, as well as forward-facing cameras. The mirrors are electrically operated. We'll show you those inside later. But not only the side mirrors, but also this mirror up here and this mirror up here. You can all adjust from inside. So overall, you've got some pretty good flexibility when setting this truck up for yourself. The lights themselves are not LED. They're just standard bulbs in there all the way around. So again, really easy to service yourself. If you're an owner operator and you're out on the road and you have a bulb or something go, you can do that quite easily. This particular truck is a CNG truck. Now I'm not overly sure why on this particular model the tanks themselves are not protected, because these pipes to me look really exposed here. But anyway, Scania must think it's right and safe, so that's how it is. On the outside, this one's been fitted with this for the number plate. We'll put back in there, lock that down in a minute. We've got a window there at the back of the truck. We've got places over here, ideally for putting the stowage of the Suses and the electrical and air lines in there. One thing I did want to mention actually before we go on to the inside of the vehicle is the Scania truck itself has a diesel tank here, and I'm not quite sure how you'll check the level of that, because there's nothing on the dash that I've seen so far to check. I'm assuming that's for the night heater, but there's nothing inside I can see where we can check the level on that. To fuel it up, we've got the high pressure at the top or the low pressure at the bottom. Now I don't know why, but we've been told that we can only use the low pressure on these to fuel them up, because the high pressure, when you fuel them up, whatever reason, it causes an issue with the running on the engine. So why fit it if you can't use it? The other thing is these steps. Now this aerofoil pulls out. Let's push it back in there briefly. You see how it covers over where the steps are themselves. If I pull that out, you can see it really does get in the way when you want to put your feet on here and climb up. You've got to go up here, try and hold on to the handrail and try and swing yourself up, and that's really not that easy. So I would say that is actually a bit of a design flaw. On this particular one, we've got the electrical outlet there as well, which can be used for either jump starting the vehicle or putting power through to your trailer, obviously. We've got a speaker down there, which I think is for your reversing. And a quick look underneath there at the engine, can't really see too much. And this model's come with the boom for your Suses and your airlines. And as I said before, you've got your stowage there for those. So on the outside, not a lot to complain about. Typically Scania, well built, well made, looks good. However, that step's not really well placed. Not sure why we've got the high and low pressure if we can't use the high pressure, and I'm not sure why it's not all boxed in. Yeah, overall, just what you'd expect on the outside to scan your truck. Okay, let's head inside the truck. Okay, so we've got 3 steps. This is a small cab, not the high cab, and I will say that this has been quite cheaply spec'd. So we've got a stowage down here which is magnetic, and that's for the wander lead here, so that's magnetic, that sits down there. On the seat we've got 3 lumbar supports. I'll try and show you them better than that. That's the one that curls the sides in, and 2 actual lumbar supports themselves there. You've got your height to raise the seat up or lower it down. You've got this one here as well, which deals with the bounce on the seat, and you've got this one at the front where you can lift it up and you can tilt the seat forwards and backwards. You've also got here at the front your main bar for lifting up to move the chair forwards and backwards, and you've got this one here which you can raise, which will allow you to move this part of the seat forwards or backwards. So plenty of adjustment in the chair itself. This model, I think it's standard in all, does come with dual armrests as well, which are adjustable using these knobs underneath. We just turn those one way or the other to raise or lower the angle of the arm once you've got your seat set. And we do have the back part which is adjustable here. So lift this up and the seat will rotate forwards. Okay, we have an under dash light under here, which is nice. Little puddle light inside the footwell, and we have a puddle light underneath here which will illuminate anything that you've got down inside the storage inside the door, which is, it's ample, but there's not a great amount there. Nice little touch with the word SCANIA and the CNG label, of course, reminding you of your fuel. So let's now head up inside the truck. The first panel of lights that we've got just to the right of the steering wheel, and let's remember this is a right-hand drive truck, we've got EG1, which seems to be something to do with your steering or diff lock. I've not actually looked in the manual yet to establish what all these are, and it wasn't trained out to me what they all do either. We've got this, which is for external lighting, I believe. It's another lighting switch, and one here and one here. Now interestingly, they do have a battery cut-off switch inside the vehicle, which is something I've not seen in other models of truck, and I'm told that's for use when the vehicle's parked up over a weekend. Just flip that switch up and it'll help protect the battery. So that's all that you've got over on the right hand side of the steering. The ignition barrel is just a standard key. If we want to adjust the steering wheel itself, we've got this button here. We can press the unlock, and then we have adjustable rake, and we can also push that in and out as well, so we can really set that steering wheel to where we want it, and then return back and lock that off. It's nice and steady. On the steering wheel itself, we've got the stereo controls here, so you can select for your source from radio or digital radio, or indeed on your Bluetooth. You've got left and right for search facilities and volume up and down. You have your mute button here, and if you've got your phone connected and you want to use Siri, you can press this, or if you've got another type of phone, of course, then you'll be using the assistant on that phone. You've also got, if no phone connected, when you press that button, it will bring you over to this menu here where it says connect a paired device, and that's on the main iPad style display there. Okay, let's now move across to the door. I'll just close the door, and over here we have, this is your light for the back of the vehicle when you're working in the back wanting to do your airlines. When you press that light, it does light something on the dashboard to show you it's lit as well. This one to the right is for an automatic light. This is for a rear fog light. This one here, if the ignition's on, the center light illuminates green, and you can raise or lower it depending on what angle you've got your truck at or whatever, but it's only actually in the correct position when it lights up green in the middle. Okay, so you keep doing that until you've got the green coming back to the middle. Now here, heated mirrors. Press this button if you want to adjust the mirror in front of the windscreen. Press this button here if you want to adjust the mirror which is to the left of the window over here. I'll just go and show you that one. So that's if you want to adjust that mirror there. I'll just come back over here. And of course you've got your upper wide angle mirror on your left, upper on your right, bottom left, bottom right. And once you've selected whichever mirror you want, you just use this joypad here to adjust the mirror. Then you've got your windows up and down on both sides, and you've got your lock and unlock, and that's it for the door. Oh, sorry, I didn't actually mention these, did I? So your headlights, you've got side lights, headlights, or automatic, which will come on as and when it decides based on the ambient lighting outside. Moving back onto your steering wheel, of course you've got your horn in the center. Firm press there will sound the horn. You've got a back button, you've got a settings button, and then you've got a joystick for left, right, up and down, and an OK. More about how we use that when navigating through the display on the dashboard in a minute. To the bottom of the wheel, which at first I did think it was pretty poorly placed, having the cruise control settings down here, but a lot of people do tend to drive here with your hand, and you can very easily select up and down for your speed. That's off or resume. This button here you press down or up, and that's for your distance setting, so that your adaptive cruise control will set to the distance. And again, I'll show you more about that on the dashboard later. And this one is for your downhill cruise control, up and down, off or resume, and those speeds are very clearly shown on the dashboard as well. So that's it for the steering wheel. Now if we move across to this display, of course you've got your hazards. This dims your lights or brightens your lights on your dashboard. This button resets your odometer. This switches off all of the functions which aren't ultimately necessary for driving the vehicle at night, so that you get a nice dim display. And then you've got your standard functions here. Okay, so this is your crash avoidance, for example. This is your lane detection, so it vibrates and beeps at you when you're going down the road if you're out of lane. That's your reversing bleeper. This one is something I'm not seeing in other trucks, and it may be in other Scanias, but I haven't driven a Scania for about 15 or 16 years, so it's quite new to me when I got in the truck. It actually bleeps when you get to, I think it says 60 or 80 kilometers. You can turn that off as well. The park brake has two park brakes. This is your main park brake, on and off, which you'd operate in the normal way. Pull it towards you, push it in. But if you press this one and that's illuminated in green, then your automatic brake will work every time the vehicle comes to a stop. Moving over to the stalk on the left hand side, you've got a button on the end here. Press that and the wipers will squirt water and go across the windscreen. You've got automatic wipers here, and the delay can be altered using this. Then you've got your speeds for the wipers all the way around there, and then if you push it down, it's a left signal, push it up to the right signal. Moving across to this lever, if I can find a way to show you, you've got your gear select, so we push it in and turn it this way, or we can turn it the other way. Now at the moment we're in neutral and the ignition's off, so I can't actually select the gears, but you just push that in and turn it for reverse, reverse low, or you've got drive down there as well. If you want to go between manual and automatic, you can press this here, and again it does tell you what you're in on the dashboard. I'll show you that once the dashboard's illuminated. And you've got these buttons here, which are all to do with your exhaust brake, which is activated by the lever on the right, just pulling it up and down. Pretty standard stuff, and I'm sure it's the same in previous generations of Scania since the ones that I was driving, which were all manual. Moving across to the dashboard, you've got this button and this button, which are to do with your lights up here, and you can put that one on by pressing the up button. But then if I show you on this one above me, if I press and hold that same button I'm showing you, you can see that's getting brighter, or I can turn it down. And to do that, I'm just pressing and holding this button here, and that's adjusting the lights. And these are the other internal lights. Now this multimedia system here, I'll go through in more detail in a moment, but you can also access many of the menus quite easily. Temperature up and down, the main truck menu, night heater, front windscreen. Not sure what those two actually represent at the minute. Let's just come out of that for a moment on the screen, see what it brings up. It's to do with your climate control. Yeah, they're both to do with your climate control. You're parking overnight. That's your lights above, and then you've got your volume up and down. Then you can just turn the multimedia system on or off using that button there. Now in this particular cab, that's pretty much all we've got button wise. Now it is, like I say, quite a low spec cab. It was ordered that way for reasons that elude me. We do have a couple of 24 volt outlets down there, and we've got a USB-C also down there and a cup holder. We have a 24 volt down here, and we have cup holders here. Now you can get a cup in here. In fact, I've got one. I'll just fetch and show you. You can put one in there. That works okay. But if you want to put it in there, you can see it doesn't fit. So I'm not really sure what the purpose of that is. It seems a pretty poor design to me. We've got a drawer here to the back. We have another drawer here, and then we lift this one up if we want to raise the bed. Moving up here, we've got this button here. I'm not quite sure what that one does yet. I've not been shown, and I've not looked through the manual. We can mute the left alarm, the reverse alarm, and this button, if we press and hold it, actually puts on the cameras over in there. But again, you need the ignition on for that. So we've got the key turned on, which will bring your dashboard to life. We can see the park brakes on at the moment. If I press that one now, it'll do nothing. We need to press that once the engine's started and we're moving, and this brake's turned off to activate that. If I press this down, then that display will dim. If I press this up, then that display will come back on. You can get to these settings using the this function here and using these buttons, but they've got a nice quick easy way to do it there. And again, if we press this button here, you can see it's just dulled down the display to a bare minimum. It actually also dulls out this display as well when you press that, so that's quite useful. As I said earlier, that one, if you press it, will take your trip meter down here back to 0, which I'm not going to press because I want to keep a track of my mileage today using that. These buttons can be switched off. They go amber. It's been determined that they don't want you to switch this one off in the settings by the manufacturer, by the operator as well. So that one we can't switch off, but the others we can, and we can switch these off as well. And again, going back to these, I'm not quite sure what they've done. I'm just going to press one. Oh, I see. So pressing this button here is turning these big lights all on. Okay. Pressing the button next to it, bring you back down. Pressing this one is doing absolutely, oh it is, I'll tell you what it's doing. Pressing that one is just turning that light on and off there. So I'm assuming there's another button for the light on the other side, and if we press this button here, that turns them all off. Okay, so if I press this button and that button, that's put them all on there. If I then press this button with a 0 on it there, which I'm going to show you as I press it, it's turned everything off. That's just me leaning on the horn. I'm sure everyone's very pleased about me doing that while I'm parked up in the services. And I'm assuming this button here with the EXT is something to do with the external lighting to turn it off. Okay, so let's move back over here now and have a look at this multimedia system. We'll start by pressing this button, and we have control or level. I'm sure on models which come with a bit more money spent on them, these will actually have more options in them. On this one, we've just got the level where we can centralize the truck, or we can raise and lower pressing the buttons on here. As I say, we don't need to do it here. We have the wander lead. We still have the temperature panel here where we can raise and lower the temperature, and we can do this with our finger if we want to and slide it up and down. Press again, it should come back down. It's not doing. I'm not quite sure what I've just done there. Still playing with this. It's the first time I've driven this truck, so there we go, it's gone. Press auto and it'll use a climate control as you'd expect. I'm not quite sure what this one, oh, it's just a direction of where you want the heat, and this one is for recirculation of the outside air. Straight in, recirculation, or recirculation A, and you've got your fan speeds here which can go up and down, and I'm guessing if you press and hold, yeah, it brings it up there as well. Press and hold, no, that's the volume. Let's turn that down, so that's gone anyway. And you get to all the external lighting things again, pressing all these buttons inside. Now it seems to me that Scania have gone all out to give you loads of ways to actually do the same thing. So we've got buttons down at the side of the dashboard to turn the lights on and off. You can do it through the multimedia system. Personally, I just think that that's adding features for the sake of adding them, and all it's really doing is adding complexity into the system, which means it's potentially going to fail or cost more down the line. So as an operator, I myself wouldn't like this. Anyway, nonetheless, we'll go back to auto. If we go back here, we can now go down to the next level, and I've got absolutely nothing showing on that menu, but I can scroll left and right. We know that because we've got 2 dots there, and that's just giving me an overview of the date. Press camera, it'll short. That's the camera that's at the back on the 5th wheel, ideal for reversing, so I'm told. Personally, I don't like it, so I don't use it. And you've got other settings for your suspension again here as well. So let's go back out of there, and you can go to your radio quickly. You've got your phone and all the bits and bobs in there. You can press the next one down, and again you've got similar things to shortcut to the same menus as we've already seen, but you do have settings in here, and within the settings menu you can actually add your device here. I'm already connected with the iPhone 14, but you can add a new device by pressing that. It's quite simple. Down here we've got the multimedia and the music, and we can see I've got Pink playing. You can either press play there, and you can turn the volume up and down by moving your finger over that, I believe. Oh, no, you can't. So you do need to use your volume switch here to adjust your volume. You can go to various menus for your Bluetooth or whatever by pressing this up here as well. Again, if I press the source button here, this button, if you watch the dashboard there, it's changed to the radio or between your Bluetooth. And again, if we go to the bottom, that's just your phone. All right, and that's pretty much all you've got there on your multimedia system. Most of those buttons have quick access buttons here, so you can very quickly change your temperature. As you can see me moving this as I'm pressing it. You can go back to the front button there, which is this one up here. So whatever menu you're on, press that and you go back to that menu. That, I believe, is your cab heater, front windscreen. As I say, that's to do with your climate control. Pressing this button brings that menu up. Press that button and it takes you along to the next menu along. That's all it is. This button is unknown because I'm pressing that. It looks like a light button, but it does absolutely nothing when I'm pressing it. But one thing I don't like, guys, just watch this. As I press this button, I'm not really forcing it. Well, can you see how the whole panel is moving up and down? It doesn't feel right to me. That feels cheap, which is something I never thought I'd say about Scania. And if you want to just turn it off, you can just press that, but your stereo will keep playing in the background. You can just lower the volume. Okay, so that shows you all the way around that. Next menu I want to show you is the dashboard itself. Yeah, these Scanias are quite complex. There's a lot to go through, so I hope you're bearing with me. And if you've never driven one of these, you'll probably find all this useful. But if you are used to driving these more modern Scanias, then I'm sure most of this is stuff you already know. And if you do drive them and you know that I've said anything wrong and you disagree with me, please do tell me in the comments down below, because as I say, I was used to driving Scanias when they had a stick box in them. I'm not used to driving these modern ones, so this is the first one I've been in. It's the first trip out in it, and I really just wanted to put this video together to show people what the Scania has evolved into and how it works for those that don't know. So let's move on to this menu. Okay, so now looking at this dash menu, this display here on the left and the display on the right can actually be changed. And we do all this by pressing these navigation buttons. So if I press the left navigation button and the right navigation button here, you'll see that I'm moving this menu at the top. Okay, and each one of these menus, if it's got these dots, I'm trying to point to the dots while they're still there, these dots here, then it means you've got a sub menu. So you can go to a menu and then you can use the navigation button down, and you can scroll through various different menus within these, and that's how you can adjust various settings as well within the truck. Personally, I'm not going to go through every single one of those. I'm just showing you how to access them. If you want to have a play in your own truck when you've got time, then I'm sure you'll figure that out pretty quickly. But what it does allow you to do is, when you've got a setting up like level adjust, if I press OK, it says change side panel there. So press OK again, and I can remove from the left, or I can add a different one, or I can clear all of them. I'm actually just going to press the back button now to go back, because I quite like having that level adjust on there. If I press the return button while driving, then it actually changes the screen to a more dimmed view, which is similar to when we press this button here, if you remember. It has the same effect by just pressing the back button when you're driving along. Okay, so that's my relatively quick tour around the new Scania. Unfortunately, as I say, this one I think is very, very base model for Scania. I'm not overly impressed with the overall build quality inside. Things like this feel really cheap and tacky, if I'm honest. Looking across at the door handle, looking at the finish here, that's quite sharp. It's, well, if I was paying the money that they pay for these trucks, I certainly wouldn't be happy and I'd be taking it back. But then if I was buying the truck, I wouldn't buy the base model. So hope you found this video interesting, guys. If you have, please do like and subscribe, and remember to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video. I've been Steve, this has been a Knights of England trucking video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da for now. Okay, one other thing just to add in here that I didn't miss out. You've got your diff lock down here. And this little space here, you can actually slide your driving licence and your driver CPC card, any other card you want in there, which is quite a useful little space to store stuff. Okay, ciao for now.